Imagine a deal to rescue the love of your life from death, provided you walk in total darkness and never look back. This was the task given to Orpheus, and he was uniquely capable. His music was so persuasive, it could charm gods, tame wild beasts, and disarm enemies. He had an absolute mastery of influence. He makes the treacherous climb, but at the very edge of the light, mere steps from the surface, he inexplicably breaks that single rule. He turns his head, and he loses Eurydice forever. Most Greek heroes fall because of a recognizable flaw, like arrogance or rage. Orpheus is different. He made a completely unforced error right at the finish line, and it remains a baffling piece of human behavior. This specific failure has obsessed humanity for centuries. It has inspired countless adaptations, from grand operas performed in prestigious houses to modern novels and films. The myth survives as an unresolved behavioral question. Even today, we are still trying to decode exactly what happened in the silence of that cave. For millennia, storytellers have acted as amateur behavioral psychologists, attempting to assign a logical motive to an irrational action. The poet Ovid suggested Orpheus was simply overwhelmed by eagerness, driven by a fear that Eurydice had fallen behind and vanished. Virgil offered a different view, arguing that a sudden madness hijacked an otherwise rational mind. Plato was far more critical. He dismissed Orpheus as a coward who was unwilling to truly die for love, and instead tried to cheat the gods. Modern interpretations lean into darker complexities. Authors like Neil Gaiman depict an Orpheus crippled by suspicion, a man convinced he's being tricked, who finally looks back in anger. These conflicting theories show that literary analysis has its limits. To find the actual mechanism behind his choice, we have to look into modern cognitive science. In the field of psychology, the primary driver of this failure is doubt. In Anais Mitchell's Hadestown, doubt functions as an insidious, creeping force that slowly strips away a person's resolve. This mirrors the concept of dysphoric rumination. When a mind is isolated on a long, uncertain journey, it begins to turn inward, dismantle its own priorities, and eventually collapse into despair. This process is driven by relational frame theory. Our brains organize the world through comparative opposites. To understand up, we must automatically link it to down. It's a foundational part of how humans learn to make sense of their environment. This creates a cognitive trap. The human brain cannot process a negative rule without first conceptualizing the forbidden action. To tell yourself, "do not look back," is to force your mind to think about looking back. Every step Orpheus took while trying to suppress the thought only increased his cognitive load. The urge reinforced itself until it became more real to him than the path ahead. This is the myth's ultimate irony. Orpheus could charm the universe with his song, but he had no way to charm his own intrusive thoughts. Orpheus was neither weak nor mad. His failure demonstrates the rigid mechanics of how we relate concepts, a system that usually helps us survive, but collapses under this specific kind of pressure. This story resonates today because we all experience the same paradox. We know what it's like to have an anxiety become louder the more we try to ignore it. Regardless of our external power or discipline, we remain vulnerable to the way our own thoughts are wired. The myth of Orpheus endures as a haunting reminder that our own mind is the one space we can never truly run away from.